Hey there, this is Maurice. Going to go through my impressions of the Massdrop and HIFIMAN RE00 or RE100, whatever you want to call it. So let's talk about the fit first. So the housings are small, made out of plastic, but it's hard plastic and it feels pretty good, pretty substantial, especially at the price point that is commanding. So this is what it looks like. On the ends here, has that knurled kind of texture, okay? And then the bores here are a little wide. So let's say if you get SpinFits, they're CP800, so they're not the Shure Westone types that are like the CP100 SpinFit tips. They're not the narrow bore. They're more of a wide stature. Okay, so these are actually the stock tips, and it's going to come with white silicone double flange tips, which I did not receive, and an earphone case as well, which I also did not receive. So that's something to look forward to if you decide to purchase these. But the fit is good, small, and I don't really have issues with these fitting in my ears, even with my right ear that has cauliflower due to wrestling. I still get a good fit with this. There's some IEMs that I own that I just don't have, the perfect fit, quote, perfect fit on my right side. So customs are a lot better for me in that regard. Okay, so let's go to function real quick. Okay, let's just talk about the makeup of this. Okay, so you have a regular cable here, slightly glossy, slightly thick as well. So it's actually a high quality cable, for the price point, in my opinion. Okay, so, and then it goes down to the chin, to actually not even a chin slider. It's a Y connect. So you got HIFIMAN on one side, RE00 on the other side. And then what I like about on the end of the Y connect is the sleeved part of the cable here. So as a whole, the cable is very, very nice, and it doesn't really prone to tangle too much. It's not too bad. It's a little bit tangly, but if you do it the right way, if you wrap it up the right way, you should be fine. Okay, so what I like is at the end of it, it has a right angle plug that has strain relief on all sides. See that? I like that. That's cool. That means that the cable should last a wee bit longer, than without this strain relief right here. Okay. Nice plug at the ends right here. See that? It should fit in most, smartphones, DAPS devices, DAC amps, whatever you want. It should fit, sufficiently without much issue. Okay. So let's move it up. Let's go back to this. Okay. So very nice, very comfortable. Okay. So let me show you my SpinFit tips. So let me show you there you go. Yep. That's how it looks. See that? What I like is that it's long enough to accommodate, most third-party earphone stalks. So that's cool. Some IEMs are really short, and they might not have, this this notch here that'll help, you know, the third party earphone tip stocks to fit, you know, well, because I've had it, you know, where I had an IEM that was short, and I still try to fit tips on there, like third party tips, and then I'll put them in my ear, and then the tips would get stuck in my ear, and when I pulled out the actual IEM, this would actually stay in my ear. So yeah, that was pretty embarrassing, but hey, that's how it goes, right? Okay, so let's put on the tip. Boom. So it should go down to about the silver portion. You know, it doesn't need to go down any further. You could if you want, I guess, but you know, this is tight enough for me. So let's do the other one. Okay, there it is again. Actually, very nice for the price point, of course. Okay, let's put this back on. Nice. There we go. Okay, that's my SpinFit tip. Ooh, you didn't see that. Okay, so we have the SpinFit tips on. Feels really, really good in my ear. These are actually the small size. These are the CP 800 size, right? And so let's go to sound impressions, okay? So it has an agreeable sound, okay? It sounds pretty darn detailed in all of the frequencies, and I think to my ears it's an agreeable sound that most people should like. So if you're going to be looking for an IEM, an earphone that, you know, accentuates certain frequencies with velocity, like with bass, like super bass heavy earphone, or a mid range that's super liquid, or a treble based IEM that, you know, has very extended highs and may sound sibilant or strident to some people. Well, these are probably not for you, because this has more of a balanced sound signature. So what I mean by that, specifically in the bass region, I'll call this somewhat above neutral for the bass. So usually if I perceive an IEM earphone to have a little bit of bass, okay, I will say that it's slightly above neutral. So that's a little bit of bass, okay? But this one has a little bit above slightly. So I'll say somewhat above neutral. But by all means, this is still not a bassy headphone to my ears. Some people may think it's pretty bassy, especially if, you know, you're used to more neutral or flat sounding in-ears, then maybe. But to my ears, they're not that bassy. It has good bass, you know, sufficient bass for probably a lot of people, because it's an agreeable sound, right? And then for the mids are pretty liquid, slight grain to it, slight grain to the bass and the mids. Very, very slight grain, but you know, again, for the price, very, very good. And then for the treble, I would say that they extend well, are linear in presentation, okay, but are not sibilant. So I don't really want to name other IM names, but there's some that are a lot more, you know, strident than these, and these are not really like that way. They don't get sibilant, at least with the sources that I use, which is like the iPhone 6, the Microsoft Surface Book, and the Quest Audio QP1R. With those, I just don't feel that the trebles are accentuated very much. But there is a good amount of treble. So I won't say that the treble rolls off too early. I won't say that. But there is definitely treble presence to there, which as a whole, to me, in my opinion, it makes this more of a balanced sounding in-ear, more than a completely reference slash neutral slash flat sounding IM. I don't think so. That's where, where I will, talk about one IM. Okay, the UE Ultimate Ears RM. Okay, that's flat. That's pretty darn flat. Okay, and I actually own the Ultimate Ears reference monitor, or sorry, Ultimate Ears reference remastered. And then there's a Pro in there, right? UE Pro reference remastered. Okay. To me, those are actually, more bassy than the regular RM, the previous version, right? And a lot more bassier than these. So it's something to consider, that's for sure. But if you want an agreeable sound for the price, it sounds pretty darn good. Yeah. What else can I think of? Yeah, that's about it. Sounds very agreeable. Oh, yeah, Soundstage. Okay, so Soundstage and spatial capabilities. Okay, so the sound as a whole, okay, I feel it has a little bit of emotion, but it's slightly laid back in overall sound. Okay, so that's definitely something to consider if you want an in-your-face sound. This will probably not be the right in-ear for you, but this is more of like a few rows back sound where you hear a little bit more of that distant sound. Okay, hard to really describe, but if you listen to a lot of in-ears, you can probably get my gist of what I'm saying, hopefully. But it has that slightly distant sound, not crazy distant, but definitely some distance in there. Okay, as opposed to being an in-your-face sound that's smack dab right there. No, these earphones are not that way. So I think as a whole, they're very good. Do I think that they are the, recommended in-ear for budget concerned individuals? Yes and no. I mean, I think it really depends on the individual. Okay, really depends on the individual and what sound signature that they truly prefer. I think it would have been a lot easier for me to recommend these if it had a couple of inclusions that were omitted with these earphones. So the first one is this, the chin slider. So, or lack thereof. So there's lack of a chin slider. I can pull and yeah, it's not going anywhere. So even though it looks like this part here can come apart, no, it's stuck. Okay, so there's no actual chin slider for the Y Connect. So that's an issue for some people. For me, I don't care. I really don't. But for some, it could be a deal breaker, and that's completely understandable. Okay, so this does not move. So that's one thing to consider. Second thing is that there's no remote. So I'm not talking about Bluetooth or whatever. I'm just talking about usually at around here or here, you'll get controls here to move the track forward or backward, play, pause, stuff like that. Volume up and down. And I think for a budget earphone, it should definitely have some sort of remote on it. And because I presume this is going to be used by a lot of consumers, especially for the price, right? But other than those two suggestions, features that I think should be included with the RE00, it's a fantastic sounding earphone, agreeable, really doesn't do anything wrong, so think for audiophiles, this might not be, their top of the line earphone, but this could be a fantastic backup to their top of the line. I think for the gym, it's okay. It's not, the most isolating just because, it's universal. And so it may fit you well for the gym and it may not. So it really depends on your individual ear canal, ear shape, ear size, ear depth, ear canal depth, all of that, right? So all of that comes into play. So I'd say it may or it may not be good for the gym for you. Okay. Other than that, that's about it. Thank you for watching. Have a great day. Take care and peace.